So I quit bodybuilding. I'm just gonna start at the beginning. Around January 20th, I decided I wanted to do a bodybuilding show sometime over summer. And I hired a coach, Michael Donato specifically. And we talked about the show, we talked about my prep, and he gave me a meal plan and a training plan. So that was the start of that. And initially, it was very hard to follow the meal plan and training plan. So I will give you a rundown of my day basically. So I would wake up at 4 in the morning for my job to be at my job at 5. I would do a heavy labor job. So I wasn't just sitting at a desk all day. It was heavy labor, working with heavy objects, moving things around. I would wake up, right? I believe my meal plan was 2,500 calories at that time, when he first gave me. So I was going from about 3,000 calories ish to about 2,500 and 200 grams of protein ish, I think. So I wake up at 4, get to work at 5. I don't eat until 7 or 8. And that was honestly the hardest part, was having to spread out my meals to the very last minute that I could spread it out to without feeling like I wanted to die. So I wake up, drink an energy drink, eat at about 7 or 8, just keep holding on throughout the day. Next time I have my meal is about 12 to 2 p.m. And then I get off of work. I have my little pre-workout snack around 2, 3-ish. And then I'm at the gym at like 3. And I'm doing the training plan that Michael Donato gave me, which is just standard push-pull legs, 6 days a week. And okay, so it is very hard to do with a full-time job, push-pull legs 6 days a week and cutting and working. It's just so brutal. So I remember initially my first week, I guess I could say my first month, it was just trying to adapt to that meal plan and the training plan. It's like having a second job, honestly. It is a lot. So I would mess up a lot. I would miss a day in the gym. I would binge eat rice cakes and peanut butter. I literally would eat I would make my rice cakes and then I just couldn't stop making them. I couldn't stop eating them. I would binge 8 rice cakes with peanut butter and banana and honey. And it became my favorite little snack ever. So that was for 2 months I was doing that. I was struggling trying to follow the meal plan and the training plan. And then also I forgot to add, with the training plan, it was 30 minutes of Stairmaster on speed 8 along with my workouts. And if you know anything about Stairmaster, that is a lot for somebody that doesn't do cardio. So it was a lot. I had to meal plan, work, training plan, and cardio. And by the time I got home around 7 p.m., 7 p.m., it was time to go to bed. So I couldn't do anything outside of work, follow the meal plan, and train. And that was basically my life. That is essentially how it is when you have a full-time job and you're trying to do bodybuilding. It is very rough. So anyway, fast forward, I want to say 2 or 3 months into the meal plan. I probably will have the exact dates up on the screen. I unfortunately have been procrastinating this video for so long that I've forgotten the timelines. This video is a very rough video to make. I don't want to make this video at all. As you can probably tell, I'm very uncomfortable sitting down right now. But, I decided I want to get my YouTube started back up. And I feel like this is the prerequisite to that. I just have to get uncomfortable and keep getting used to the uncomfortability before I can start making good content. So anyway, fast forward 2-3 months, This man, Michael Donato, updates my training plan, and he updates my training plan and meal plan. And everybody who's done bodybuilding before, that's probably one of the scariest things that can happen to you, is when your coach updates your plan. So he updated my plan to about, I think it was 2,200 calories and like 230 grams of protein on active days, and then 1,600 calories on rest days. 1,600 calories. That is like one meal. That's like 1.5 meals. It was crazy. So I remember when he updated my plan, my heart kind of broke. I don't know how to describe it. My heart sunk, because it was like, okay, this is the make or break, essentially. I know that. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, that moment when he updated my meal plan and we got off the call, my heart kind of sunk. I was looking at my phone. I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this. Like, genuinely, the meal plan, it was so hard to follow. The first meal plan was so hard to follow, and I had just been getting used to it, and then seeing that updated meal plan was like, yeah, like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of leeway here, and I will just either completely stop, or I'll talk to Michael and try to see if we can up the calories or whatever. So as you can tell, spoiler alert, I stopped, but we'll get into that later. But basically, he updated the meal plan. I started trying to follow it. I did my best. I had to kind of transition into it, because obviously when you have a meal plan set, you have meals already. So it's not like I can just drop all the meals. So I was doing a transition week into it. And I will say, the first time I tried that 1,600 calorie day, I literally could not get out of bed. When I tell you, I was in bed all day, like woozy, like almost like I'm sick. Like, that was a common theme throughout the entire bodybuilding journey. Was like, it was almost like I was sick 24/7. You just have low energy, you feel weird, you're hungry all the time. It's basically like you're sick. You're trying to operate while you have a cold. So that was awful. That really impacted the decision to fully stop. And the 2,200. Anyway, the 2,200 calorie days were just as difficult. It's, if not the same, because they're active days. So I'm going to work, waking up at 4 a.m. on 2,200 calories, trying to train and do cardio after the gym. And that was basically, I'll get to the moment that I decided to quit. So basically, the moment I decided to quit was, I've been contemplating for a while. Obviously, throughout this whole thing, you're going to want to quit, like, every day. Like, I'm not kidding. You're going to want to quit so bad every day. So obviously I had been contemplating it, and then I finally gave in when there was this one moment where in the gym, I literally was like lifting weights and I felt nothing. Like, I just felt so empty. It felt so dull doing the workout, doing the cardio. I literally felt like a ghost. And I was training with my girlfriend, and she said to me, yeah, you look awful. You look like a ghost. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. So I quit about, I want to say 15 weeks out from my show. I decided to just end it there. That next day I just texted Michael Donato, hey, yeah, I don't want to, something along the lines of like, I can't do it anymore, something like that. So yeah, obviously that sucked. And the main reasons were just the difficulty of maintaining a strict meal plan and training plan, the difficulty of maintaining a strict training plan and meal plan while in a massive calorie deficit. I was in like 1,000 calorie deficit, low energy. You're just irritated all the time. You're like a woman on her period all the time. That's essentially the way I felt. Was like, is this how women on their period feel? Like, you just get irritated at the smallest stuff, and you want to punch and kick stuff. If, for example, you're handling something, or maybe your phone falls out of your hand, you just want to throw your phone across the room. And sometimes I threw stuff across the room. I couldn't help myself. And yeah, I was literally like, is this what a woman feels like on her period? And that's basically how I felt the whole time. And then some more reasons were low test, like could barely get out of bed, no motivation for the day. Your physique probably is the worst part. You just get smaller. You don't get you will get leaner, and you will see the results of that in the gym, like when you're pumped up and when you're flexing. But as soon as that's done, you look like crap. You look terrible. You just look like the smaller version of yourself with like no more striations or anything like that. It's awful just seeing yourself shrink. Like, that was also one of the worst parts. And what else? I think that's it, honestly. And then also like the mental part of it, like literally you want to quit so badly every single day. Every single day you're like, well, why am I even doing this, man? This is so stupid. I can't even do this for another day. And then 2 hours later, you'll kind of get over it once you eat your meal, and then you'll feel fine. And then that cycle just kind of continues throughout every single day for hours and hours. But honestly, I will say, even though there's a lot of negatives, there are a lot of positives too. So like I said earlier, when you're in the gym, pumped up flexing, you're lean as hell, you got those striations. I'll probably throw up a clip on the screen just so you can see. It's really awesome. Like, seeing the results, like the shoulder striations, veins, stuff like that is really awesome to see. And it's awesome to see progress in your physique towards a bodybuilding perspective. So that was great. The other thing that was great was I learned about posing. I learned how to bring out my strengths way better and hide my weaknesses, kind of. So that really helped. I kind of was like doing real posing routines, improving my posing, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And then the other positive was learning about nutrition. Was really, really, really educational for me, and it kind of showed me, I kind of experienced nutrition. And the way I can best explain that is, like, for example, you know how fats like control you know how carbs give you energy, fats give you like long-term energy and control your hormones, and then protein is like for muscle. So you kind of know that. But then when you go through it, you actually get to understand how it works physically. Like, you really get to understand it. So for example, I was on low fat, like 50 grams of fat, which, if you know anything about nutrition, that is just way too low for a grown adult. So I could feel the difference when I just upped the fat, basically, and I kept all the macros the same. So it was really cool to experience that. You learn a lot about nutrition, protein, stuff like that. That was about it, man. That's all of the pros and cons, basically. That was one of the questions I had when I first started, was like, what actually is, the bodybuilding routine? Like, what happens? Unfortunately, I never got to the show, which sucks. So I don't get to tell you guys about that, but trying to think of anything else, but I think for this video, I think that's as in depth as I want to go into for this video. It's late at night right now, so my whole family's sleeping, so I kind of just want to end the video. But thank you guys for watching. There's probably nobody watching, but if you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe and comment what you want to see next. And yeah.